Aroldis Chapman is that good, and it's absolutely a weapon for the Boston Red Sox.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Gabby Maljanian, former ESPN social media associate and current host of the Boston Balling podcast as well. And I'm here to bring you the latest in all things Boston Red Sox, Monday through Friday, straight to your favorite podcast feed. And the best part, it's free. So make sure you always tune in because Locked On is here for you every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Hello. Happy Thursday. It certainly is a happy one as the Red Sox took the first 3 games of the series from the Baltimore Orioles with a chance to sweep today with the team's ace on the mound, Garrett Crochet. Hopefully they can conclude that sweep on this fine Thursday afternoon. But last night's game was suspenseful. It came down to the wire. The Red Sox won by a run. Going to be talking about the heroics of Ceddanne Rafaela on today's show, as well as the roster moves that the Red Sox are set to make today. But first of all, the Boston Red Sox have the best closer in baseball right now. There is nobody else I would want to be closing games right now in the league based on stats than Aroldis Chapman. Like, yes, you can talk about his off the field stuff and how he isn't exactly an upstanding citizen of society. But what we can say is that his play on the field for this Boston Red Sox team has been tremendous. And once again, last night, he went out there and reminded everybody of the fact that he is likely going to be a Hall of Fame closer. Through 1 inning, no hits, no runs, struck out the side. He threw 24 pitches with 17 of them going for strikes. And the ironic thing was the last batter to face him actually did put up a fight. It was a 12-pitch at bat ultimately at the end of the day, and it was Mayo from the Baltimore Orioles. He just kept swinging and fighting, and he was fouling off a bunch of pitches, but ultimately Aroldis Chapman pinned one to the corner for strike 3 at the end of the at-bat to win that battle. And the best thing about Aroldis Chapman that's been so intriguing to watch this year is the fact that he can literally still throw 105 miles an hour at his age. The guy's 36 years old, and he's still throwing fastballs at 100 miles an hour and greater. He's throwing sinkers that can go 98 miles an hour. Sinkers. He uses his four-seamer the most because why would he not when he can throw that pitch over 100? But he does have a sinker, slider, and splitter that he also uses, with the sinker being his secondary pitch after that four-seam fastball. But he is so intimidating to the point where if he throws a pitch over 100 miles an hour, opposing players just know that there's no chance they're hitting it. They just know that they just don't have a chance. And it's so funny to witness. And the dominance that Chapman has displayed as of late has been unbelievable. He hasn't given up a run or a hit since July 23rd, which is not allowing a hit in 41 consecutive batters. He's now rocking a 1.04 ERA, 1.84 FIP in 52 innings pitched. There's nothing else to say about that other than the fact that it is pure dominance. 3 strikeout effort on Wednesday, 11.2 innings consecutively that he's gone without allowing a hit, issuing just 4 walks while striking out 14 in that span. He's converted 26 of 28 save chances this season while posting a stellar 1.04 ERA with a .67 whip and a 74-14 strikeout to walk ratio across 52 innings. I mean, 74 strikeouts to 14 walks is actually insane. This man generates swings and misses like it's in his sleep. I mean, it's crazy what he's been doing this year. He's in the 99th percentile in strikeout percentage and whip percentage. He just gets so many swings and misses because it's so hard to hit that fastball. The 92nd percentile in chase percentage because he has all kinds of off-speed pitches that also are unhittable. 98th percentile for fastball velo. Guys are not making hard contact against him at all. 74th percentile in hard hit percentage. 33rd percentile in ground ball percentage. So he's not generating a lot of ground balls, but he doesn't really need to because a lot of his outs are coming via the strikeout anyway, or fly balls that are weak as it is. So there's not really a lot of opportunity for ground balls to begin with. In average exit velocity, he's in the 70th percentile. So again, people are not hitting the ball super hard against him. The ball's not traveling very fast. And that's why he is able to get outs as seamlessly as he does. When he goes out there, you don't even have to worry about him getting the job done. In a one-run game, he is going to take care of business. And it's a really good feeling knowing you have a closer who's absolute nails on this team. Compared to the last couple seasons, right now he's pitching to a 104 ERA. In 2024, his ERA was 3.79, and in 2023, it was a 3.09. So that's a drastic drop for him this year. He's producing at a much higher level. He had 6 saves in 2023, 14 last year, and 26 this year. And in innings pitched last year, he threw 58.1, 61.2, and then 52 this year. So between 2023 and 2024 with the 58.1 and the 61.2, he is getting to that point where he's going to end up throwing as many innings as he did in those years, but has been far more effective. He's at 74 strikeouts right now compared to 98 last year and 103 in 2023. So he's always been a big strikeout pitcher, but the effectiveness this year has been unbelievable. His overall career numbers in 16 seasons, he has a 59-47 record with a 2.53 ERA over 853 games played, 361 total saves, 812 innings pitched, and 1,320 strikeouts with a career whip of 1.08. Oh yeah, his whip right now is a whopping 0.67, which for the record is tremendous because 1.0 is considered good. So anything below that is just considered well above average. And this is particularly refreshing for the Boston Red Sox because it's been a while since they have had a closer of that caliber that they can truly rely on a game-to-game basis. And this isn't a knock on a guy like Kenley Jansen, for example, who was the Red Sox closer for a bit, but he definitely was not as reliable as Aroldis Chapman has been. And that's because he was a little bit all over the place. I mean, a lot of the time he would get the job done, but it was an absolute roller coaster in the process where he would give up a lot of base traffic. Even when he did get it done, he was grinding it out or he would blow the save. So he was not nearly as reliable as Chapman has been for this Red Sox team. And obviously there were a lot of question marks going into the season as to why the Red Sox would decide to sign a 36-year-old to come and pitch out of their bullpen in a high leverage spot. They originally signed him because they wanted another lefty in the pen, which was fair, but people were unsure about how effective he was going to be. But in this season, he has truly been that glue that has held the bullpen together. And yes, they have had other high leverage arms who have been able to also contribute and be reliable. I'm looking at Garrett Whitlock, Justin Slayton, Greg Weisser, and even to an extent, Justin Wilson, and also obviously Brennan Bernardino, who has been completely dominant in his stints out of the pen. So you have other pitchers you can trust in the bullpen, but nobody that you can trust quite like you can with Aroldis Chapman. Yes, these other guys are good and have pitched in high leverage, but they have had situations in which they've had complete blow-ups, and you haven't really seen a whole lot of that at all from Aroldis Chapman, whether he goes out there in the 9th inning in a tie game to make sure that it stays a tie, or he goes out there when the Red Sox are winning by a run to close it out. You know that Chapman's going to get you what you need. That's why he is a Hall of Fame closer, and that's why he is the secret weapon for this Boston Red Sox team. Can't wait to see him hopefully be able to get a chance to pitch for the Red Sox in the playoffs. And coming up, a player who is trying to also contribute to helping the Red Sox get to the playoffs is Ceddanne Rafaela, who pulled some unlikely heroics last night, and that's going to be discussed next. Hey, Locked On Red Sox fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. The Red Sox just defeated the Orioles by a tight score of 3-2 last night. And it was one of those frustrating games where the Red Sox offense was having trouble scoring. Simply put, it was frustrating. They had 7 hits, but they couldn't exactly drive in runs in situations where they really needed to. Situational hitting, again, the Red Sox struggled massively in that area, and there was a long period of time in which they were actually executing with runners in scoring position, but they overall, as an offense, aren't able a lot of the time to get that big hit and drive-in runs when they really need to. So that still remains an issue, and particularly in this game, they literally had runners on the corners with nobody out in the top of the 8th inning, and they failed to score in that inning. And that was absolutely maddening because that truly felt like it was going to be the end of the game. It felt like, okay, the Red Sox are definitely not winning this game now at this point because they can't score with runners on the corners, and they were down by a run. So huge momentum killer there. But then they made up for it in the top of the 9th by scoring, thanks to Ceddanne Rafaela, who blasted a 2-run homer in the top of the 9th. After finding himself in the middle of almost every significant play of the game, he concluded the night wearing a big smile in the middle of a jubilant Red Sox clubhouse because everybody was so ecstatic. Garrett Crochet especially, you could see how hyped up he was after that home run was hit. Everybody was just so excited. He had hit a 2-run homer in the 9th inning to lift the Red Sox to that 3-2 victory after they were down 2-1 and failed to score an inning prior. Earlier in the game, he failed to hold on to a blooper that provided Baltimore with its first run of the game. Granted, there was another side to this. Connor Wong had a passed ball, and had he been able to actually catch the ball, the runner would have been at first base, so would not have scored on the Rafaela blooper. So that was part of the issue too, as Connor Wong was equally to blame on that play. But Rafaela couldn't hold on to it, so it was considered a drop, and the run scored. And then later on in the game, in the 7th inning, there was apparent miscommunication between Ceddanne and fellow outfielder Jarren Duran that enabled the Orioles to take a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning. There was a ball hit deep that was in between both of them. It should have been Rafaela's ball. Duran was also coming over trying to make the play, and both of them thought the other one had it, so nobody made the catch, and the Orioles ended up ultimately scoring. So it was a huge blunder for both of them, but they both made up for it in the top of the 9th inning because Jarren Duran led off the top of the 9th inning with a single, and then Ceddanne, who entered the game with a 188 batting average since the All-Star break, followed with a towering fly on a 1-1 changeup off Keegan Aiken that cleared the wall in left center field and got everybody so hyped up in that Red Sox dugout. It was Rafaela's third go-ahead home run in the 9th inning or later this season, tying William Contreras, Nick Kurtz, and Shohei Ohtani for the most in Major League Baseball. So as you could imagine, he had so much adrenaline running through him at that point. He said, baseball is a beautiful game, right? In baseball, you've got to keep going. If you don't keep going and try to help your team, you're not going to have this outcome. The Red Sox right now, with where they're at, remain 4 games behind the Blue Jays in the AL East and half a game above the third place Yankees. They sit at 74-60 with the Blue Jays at 78-56. So cannot take the feet off the gas right now. But they've won 6 of 7 games on the road trip, winning a lot right now. And it's been so fun to watch. And Rafaela was truly the centerpiece of this Red Sox win. He nearly snagged that sinking liner in the 2nd inning, but the ball popped out of the diving center fielder's glove for a double. Luckily, he wasn't hurt. That would have been really unfortunate, but he ended up making some noise in this game. He also talked about the miscommunication with Duran and who should have caught that ball, and he did say to a T it was a miscommunication. I thought he had it and he thought I had it. I'm pretty sure it won't happen again. And then fortunately, that same duo teamed up to produce the winning runs. Rafaela said, I was just trying to get on base right there like JD did. We did a good job to let it go and fight for the win. Brian Bayo, who started in the game, also said he was going through a hard time, but every time the team needs him, he comes through. Tonight was an example of that. Rafaela said he was just trying to make contact on the pitch from Aiken, but he acknowledged that he was thinking about the long ball. He said, to be honest with you, I kind of felt it. I was really confident right there. And it's one of those things where he's a hitter who, if it's not a high leverage situation and the Red Sox don't need a big hit, it really almost feels like he doesn't really care about the at-bat. But then when the Red Sox do need a massive hit from him, he really buckles down and he ends up getting that. It's the weirdest thing in the world, but he all season long has been a guy who has gotten that big hit for Boston when they have really needed it most. And that's how the Red Sox have been able to win lots of games, is because of Ceddanne buckling down in the big moments. And that says a lot about his response under pressure and his hopeful response in the playoffs, because everything's high stakes in the playoffs. Every at bat means a lot more. Every play in the field means a lot more. Every pitch means a lot more. So there's just a lot more high stakes when you get on the postseason stage. And in order to make it through and make a deep run, you need to have players out there who are good at responding under pressure. And with Ceddanne, this is showing that he is able to answer the call when the team really needs him. And that's why we can hope that when it does come to be playoff time, he's ready and eager to go in those types of situations. And with the fact that he had been struggling, this was very much needed for him. And this was a hit that hopefully could help boost his confidence even more. He just has a huge problem with chasing pitches well outside the strike zone. He's in just the 2nd percentile in chase percentage, which means he chases a ton, which is not very good. He's in also just the 6th percentile in walk percentage, because he really does not walk. This kid is so swing happy, and early on in the season, he was starting to be a little bit more patient at the plate and was walking a little bit more, but he's fallen back into old habits of trying to do too much when he's at the plate, and he just takes an aggressive chasing approach with a high swing rate on pitches outside the strike zone. And he also has a big difficulty with off-speed pitches, though he has shown significant improvement overall in these areas this year. He has experienced slumps, particularly like this month slump that he's been dealing with, but he's pressing and just trying to do too much, which ultimately leads to mechanical issues and him kind of forgetting the approach that he should be taking at the plate. Also, you can point to the fact that the Red Sox have had him play at second base sometimes rather than his elite center field position seem to negatively affect his performance at the plate because he is very clearly better in the outfield than he is in the infield. There's no doubt about that. He's more confident out there and his defense is a lot better and he looks a lot less lackluster like he does when the Red Sox put him in the infield. And with Marcelo Meyer going down with a season-ending injury, it made sense why the Red Sox were putting Ceddanne at second because they were trying to make ends meet and fill holes on this team and put people where they needed to play in order for them to field the right guys out there. And with Rafaela, they felt like it was important to keep him out there because of his athleticism and his bat. And also, he's one of few players on this Red Sox team that can actually play both in the infield and in the outfield. So because of all that, the Red Sox said, hey, Marcelo's hurt. We need to do what makes the most sense. And what makes the most sense for us right now is to have Ceddanne come in and play second base, and we'll also continue to rotate him into the outfield as well. But part of that's out of the Red Sox control. That's just because of the fact that they were dealing with injuries and they had to just kind of put guys where it made the most sense. But he just feels a lot of mental pressure when he's playing out of his natural position. So that means he can try to be the hero and make up for things that he may have done that weren't as great. Like if he makes an error at second base, he tries too hard to make up for that error at the plate. But nothing wrong with making up for the error in last night's game as he was able to successfully do so, launching that 2-run homer. What does this mean for Ceddanne moving forward? Is he turning a corner? Unfortunately, I don't feel like it. I just think he's too inconsistent, and he does need to find some consistency if he wants to be able to continue to be very successful for this Red Sox team. They really value him. They signed him to a big contract extension, so they definitely believe in him, especially defensively. And I just hope we can find some more consistency at the plate and continue to take the approach that we saw him take in that 9th inning last night, because he can really take off if so. Coming up, the Red Sox are getting some reinforcements back. If you think they're winning now, just wait till they get those guys back. I'm going to be discussing these guys next. We've all had situations in which we've decided last minute to go to a sporting event or any sort of live event. I know I have had that problem as well before. My friends and I don't always make plans in advance. So that's where we turn to FaceTime and try to figure out, okay, how are we going to get our tickets? What makes the most sense? And I always say we need to buy them on Game Time. Game Time is the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Once you start using Game Time, you will not use any other ticketing vendor, I promise. And while you're at it, I also have a very important request for you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to LockedOnPodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's LockedOnPodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thank you for helping us out. Make sure you do it because we definitely want to hear your feedback. The Red Sox are playing good baseball right now. There's not really getting around that. They are finding ways to win. And yes, they are playing a series against the Orioles, one of the weaker teams in baseball right now. But that's coming off of a really good series in which they took 3 of 4 from the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. So they are playing good baseball right now. And this Orioles team won 2 games at Fenway very recently, and I don't really consider 2-game series a sweep, but by all rights of the word, they call it a sweep because it was only a 2-game series. So technically the Orioles swept the Red Sox at Fenway. So this is a good way to make up for it and show that they are able to beat the Orioles. And they did it in dramatic fashion, that's for sure. Ceddanne Rafaela being the hero in this one. Will Ceddanne Rafaela stay on track with this consistency? Likely not. He just still has a lot of the same bad habits at the plate of swinging at pitches well outside the zone. If he can consistently hit the way that he just did and take on that plate approach, he will be an absolute superstar because he has all the versatility in the world to be able to make a difference in other ways. It's just his offense needs to be a little bit more productive. I'm hoping that that can be. He just doesn't feel like he's able to make the adjustments needed, but hopefully he gets back on track to what we saw from him earlier in the season, because overall, prior to the month of August, he was having a really good season at the plate. So is this month of August just a slump, or can he get back to that? I'm leaning more towards this is not just a slump and he's going to continue to struggle at the plate, but hopefully not. Even if he does continue to struggle at the plate, though, the Red Sox are getting some reinforcements back as they are expected to make 4 roster moves today. Reliever Justin Slayton and veteran bat Rob Refsnyder will both be activated from the injured list as the Red Sox close out the series with the Orioles. Additionally, recent acquisition Nathaniel Lau will be out on paternity leave, and the Red Sox are also demoting lefty Giovanni Moran to AAA Worcester. So essentially, Slayton and Refsnyder are back, Lau and Moran moving in order to make room for them. So once Lau comes back from paternity, they'll make another roster move, but those are the corresponding moves for now. After missing nearly 80 games, Slayton returns to consolidate a Red Sox bullpen headlined by Aroldis Chapman. Slayton's right shoulder inflammation has kept him off an MLB diamond since June 1st, but all signs indicate that he's ready to rejoin the Red Sox and pitch in high leverage situations during a pivotal point in the season, because he made some rehab starts in AAA Worcester, pitched really well, looked really good. The Red Sox don't have concerns. They're ready for him to be back. This is key for the Red Sox pen, because while the Red Sox have had a bullpen that has been able to hold its own and pitch very well, being able to add another high leverage arm back into the mix is going to be a difference maker for this Boston Red Sox team. Because if you think about where they're at right now, their high leverage guys primarily have been consistently Whitlock and Chapman. They've also used Greg Weisser a lot in high leverage, and that man is probably so overworked right now. His arm is probably feeling like it's going to fall off, because the Red Sox continue to go to him because he has been trustworthy out of the pen and he's been somebody who has been effective. So Alex Cora feels like he's somebody he can trust in those high leverage situations. So he has been a guy who's been doing that. But if Justin Slayton is back, now they can take some of that ease and workload off of Greg Weisser, because in games where it always felt like Weisser had to be the go-to, now they can start to work Slayton back into some of those moments and take pressure off of him and also other high leverage relievers. Because when you're down arms, the guys you're bringing in, if they're not good enough to pitch in high leverage, for example, guys like Jordan Hicks, who is clearly a low leverage guy, you can't stick him in a high leverage spot when you're trying to win that baseball game. So therefore you say, okay, let's go to our short list of high leverage arms. These are the guys we have to use. If they're getting fatigued, it kind of is what it is. But now you're adding a guy back in there who has proven to be successful in high leverage. Justin Slayton was arguably their best reliever last year, so we know that he can pitch in those high leverage situations, and a guy who we know can go in there and help relieve some of the workload of some of the other pitchers on this team. So having Slayton back is going to be huge for this Red Sox bullpen. They are weaving out the guys who are not pitching as well and just aren't as effective. So that's very exciting that he will be back. And then Rob Refsnyder is coming back. His return will enable Alex Cora to strategize more savvily against lefties. The veteran Refsnyder has an 827 OPS this year in just 54 games, showing that he can deliver in key opportunities off the bench. He also rakes against lefties, which is why he's going to continue to get a lot of playing time against left-handed pitching. So with him coming back, it's likely going to mean that Masataka Yoshida is probably going to lose some playing time again. He was playing primarily in the DH role because they were having Roman Anthony play in the outfield a lot. But because of Refsnyder coming back to be in the games against lefties, chances are that means that Yoshida won't play as much. They might go back to having Roman Anthony DH sometimes, and then Rob Refsnyder playing in the outfield with Ceddanne Rafaela and Jarren Duran. And also Wilyer Abreu as well on his way to coming back. So that just kind of adds back into that equation as well. But bringing back Refsnyder is going to be huge for this Red Sox team, especially when they're facing lefties and we don't have to deal with weaker guys in the lineup being out there as regularly. David Hamilton, I'm not even going to bash him right now because he has actually been hitting well over the last week or so. And I feel like he's really gotten something out of his last assignment in AAA. So he's definitely not somebody who at the moment deserves criticism, but overall you can say he's one of the weaker bats on the team. So he likely won't be playing as much either because they can start to shuffle some guys around. So it creates a lot more flexibility roster wise when your players are healthy, as opposed to when guys are getting hurt more and more, and then you're forced to play certain players in spots that you wouldn't normally play them. And that's why in this specific instance, you will see a lot of benefits in a cleaner looking lineup each day now that Rob Refsnyder is coming back. And the Red Sox are playing good baseball right now, having just won 3 out of 4 at Yankee Stadium, so far 3 in a row against the Orioles. And the AL wildcard race is not getting any easier. So the Red Sox are highly and very much welcoming these reinforcements of Refsnyder and Slayton to provide them with some important depth pieces heading into the stretch run of the season. So things are looking really bright for the Red Sox, even with the fact that they are playing well right now. Hopefully they'll be even able to play better because of the fact that they're getting guys back from injury. So hopefully these guys come back, they're able to dominate, and the Red Sox are in a spot to where they can continue to be super fun to watch. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Red Sox and always making it your first listen of every single day. But I have some more exciting news as it's another big moment on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. You won't want to miss this. It's a great show, so make sure that you get in the football mode and check that out after Locked On Red Sox. Keep the faith, though. Go Red Sox, and I'll catch you on the flip side.